Picking your class in Elden Ring Nightreign can be straight up brutal. Every option looks badass, but one wrong pick and suddenly you're getting two-shot by every boss, while your buddy turns everything into dust. It's not just about looking cool, it's about picking something that clicks. With so many builds, stats, weapons, and flashy moves, it's super easy to get lost and end up stuck playing something that doesn't fit your style. That's where this tier list comes in. I've spent hours testing each class in real fights, not just theory crafting on paper. We're talking actual boss battles, invasions, and everything in between. This list is all about what actually matters: staying alive, dishing out big damage, and making sure your build still feels strong late into the game. Whether you're just starting out or thinking about re-rolling, I've got you covered. Let's break down the best classes in Nightreign and figure out which one deserves your time. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking classes in Elden Ring Nightreign. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. The classes in this tier are in order from top left to bottom right: Recluse and Revenant. Alright, let's get real about these C-tier classes, because not every character gets to be the hero, right? First up, we have Recluse. Now, Recluse could be a damage machine, but there's a catch. Her main damage potential is locked behind this thing called Magic Cocktail, which is basically a fancy cocktail party where you need to remember the exact recipe of elemental residues to mix. If you forget the ingredients or run out of the magic stuff, well, good luck. Outside of this magical mixology, her damage depends a lot on what weapons and spells you've got equipped. So if you're not the type to micromanage your gear and elemental inventory, Recluse might feel a bit underwhelming. But hey, Recluse isn't all about damage numbers. Her ultimate art, Soul Blood Song, is pretty neat. It slaps a temporary debuff on enemies that causes anyone hitting those foes to regain both health points and focus points. Sounds strong, right? The problem is, if your team decides to be friendly pacifists and ignores those marked enemies, that debuff is basically just there to look pretty. So unless your squad is coordinated and actually goes for those debuff targets, this cool trick might just flop. Now on to Revenant, the classic I summon my friends to do the dirty work mage. Her summons are strong, and her ultimate art can really swing a battle in your favor. But here's the kicker: she's still pretty squishy. If enemies break through the summons and get to her, it's game over fast. Her necromancy passive ability is fun because it can randomly give you extra summons, but since it's based on chance, you can't exactly count on it when the pressure is on. So yeah, sometimes you get a full undead army, and sometimes you get, well, a couple of skeletons who forgot their weapons. To really shine with Revenant, you need to master your spacing, get your hands on the best weapons, and honestly, have a team that's willing to be the frontline meat shields for you. Without a solid frontline protecting you, all those fancy summons and ultimate moves won't save you from getting squished like a bug. So in the end, both Recluse and Revenant have their moments, but you've got to play smart and have a good team to make them work. Otherwise, they're just fancy support acts waiting for their big break. The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Duchess, Guardian, and Executor. Alright, let's talk about the B-tier classes in Elden Ring Nightreign, because honestly, they're like that reliable friend who might not steal the spotlight, but still gets the job done, most of the time. They come with their own quirks and playstyles that can either make you look like a legend, or have you scratching your head wondering what just happened. So buckle up, we're diving into Duchess, Guardian, and Executor. First up, Duchess. Now, Duchess is a bit of a high-risk, high-reward type. She dishes out some serious damage, but only if you really know what you're doing. Her secret weapon? A character skill called Restage, which basically lets her replay all the damage an enemy has taken over the last few seconds. Imagine hitting someone, then hitting them again with the ghost of your last attack. When you nail it, you can chunk down huge portions of an enemy's health faster than they can say, "Oh no." But don't get cocky. This takes some serious practice and situational awareness. Also, your team better be in sync, or you'll end up as chopped liver because her health pool is, let's just say, not very forgiving. Now, if you're thinking Duchess is all offense, you'd be missing half the story. Her passive ability, Magnificent Poise, makes her dodge like a ninja on espresso, allowing her to weave through attacks quickly and more often. Plus, her ultimate art, called Finale, doesn't just help her. It turns the entire team invisible for a bit. It's like dropping a smoke bomb and vanishing in a puff of mystery. perfect for clutch plays or dramatic escapes, depending on how you want to look cool. Moving on to Guardian, the classic tank who's more about standing strong than throwing punches. Guardian's the guy who says, "I got this," and actually means it. His passive ability, Steel Guard, lets him block even the most brutal enemy hits, making him the ultimate shield for the team. His ultimate art, Wings of Salvation, is a game changer. It can instantly bring teammates back from the dead and create a damage-free zone inside his aura as long as he keeps it up. Talk about Team MVP. But here's the catch with Guardian. While he's a beast at defense, his damage output is kind of like that polite neighbor who doesn't want to bother anyone. Barely noticeable. His character skill, Whirlwind, is decent when you're fighting smaller mobs, but when a big bad boss shows up, yeah, not so much. So Guardian's best move is to soak up damage and let the heavy hitters in your squad handle the fireworks. Last but not least, Executor. This one is a bit of a wild card. He sits in B tier mainly because there's a learning curve that could scare off casual players. His character skill, Cursed Sword, is a beast if you know how to parry correctly, which means timing your blocks to hit right when the enemy attacks. If you're bad at parrying, no shame, it's tricky, you're going to struggle to get the most out of him. Without that perfect timing, you'll be relying on luck to find a powerful katana in the game's random loot system, or you'll have to wait for his ultimate ability to charge up to pack a punch. So Executor rewards patience and skill, but can frustrate those just trying to mash buttons and see results. To sum it up, these B-tier classes all bring something unique to the table. Duchess is flashy but fragile, Guardian is a walking fortress with a soft damage spot, and Executor demands finesse and timing. None of them are the star of the show on their own, but with the right player behind the controller, they can surprise you and definitely earn their place in the squad. So don't sleep on these guys, they're definitely worth the effort. The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Raider and Iron Eye. Alright, let's talk about two pretty solid classes in Elden Ring Nightreign that really deserve some spotlight. Raider and Iron Eye. These guys are not just your average button mashers. They bring some real flavor to the team, and honestly, they can swing the tide of battle if you play them right. So, buckle up because this is gonna get fun. First up, Raider. Now, Raider is basically your friendly neighborhood tank who also likes to dish out some respectable damage. You know how some tanks just soak hits and look cool doing it? Raider is that guy, but with a little extra punch. His signature move, Retaliate, is all about hitting back hard at whoever dares to hurt him. And then there's his passive skill called Fighter's Resolve. Sounds fancy, right? It basically makes sure he keeps the fight going by reflecting damage. But the real party trick is his ultimate art, Totem Stella. This thing doesn't just smack enemies around, it also buffs your teammates' damage, acts like a safe spot to chill on, and even saves a buddy from the brink of death by knocking off a bar from their near-death gauge. Talk about multitasking. But hey, don't get too cocky with Raider. If you mess up the timing on Retaliate, it's like throwing a punch at thin air. You just took damage for no reason. Timing is everything with this guy, or else you're just a glorified punching bag. So, if you're someone who likes to play smart and can keep your cool, Raider will reward you big time. Just don't be that player who swings wildly and cries when it backfires. Moving on to Iron Eye, the sharpshooter with a heart of gold and arrows of destruction. Iron Eye is in a tier not just because he can deal some serious damage, but because his abilities make the whole team shine brighter. His passive skill, Eagle Eye, increases the item drop rate from enemies, which means more loot for you, more power for the squad. Then there's Marking, his character skill that basically paints a big red target on an enemy and tells your whole team, hey, focus fire here. Teamwork makes the dream work, am I right? And if you think that's cool, wait till you see his ultimate ability, Single Shot. It can hit multiple enemies and knock them back if they're unlucky enough to be in the arrow's path. Perfect for when the enemies start crowding you like they're at a Black Friday sale. But here's the kicker. You gotta be precise with your spacing because Iron Eye is not exactly built for close encounters. Low health and weak defense mean if enemies get up close, you might find yourself running for cover faster than you can say bullseye. So, whether you're into standing firm and throwing punches with Raider, or picking enemies off from a distance with Iron Eye, both classes offer a solid mix of offense and team support. Just remember, each comes with its own learning curve. Play smart, keep your timing tight, and maybe, just maybe, you'll carry your squad to victory in Nightreign. The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Wilder. Alright, let me tell you why Wilder is basically the rock star of the Elden Ring Nightreign classes. First off, this guy moves like he's got rockets strapped to his boots. all thanks to his claw shot ability. Not only does it make him super mobile, but it also doubles as crowd control, so you're not just zooming around, you're knocking smaller enemies around like they're nothing. Seriously, it's like having a grappling hook and a taser rolled into one. And if you ever find yourself in a tight spot, his Sixth Sense ability kicks in, giving you that extra edge to survive when things get crazy. But wait, there's more. Wilder's Onslaught Stake? Oh man, that move is like the cherry on top. It dishes out damage and staggers even the big, bulky enemies that normally laugh at your attacks. So not only are you fast and slippery, but you're also packing enough punch to make even the toughest foes reconsider their life choices. Basically, playing Wilder feels like being that sneaky ninja who can dash around the battlefield, mess stuff up, and still walk away like it was nothing. Definitely a solid pick if you want to feel both agile and deadly. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.